All right, so this week we're talking about self-discipline, guys. Self-discipline is something that everybody has to some certain degree, whether you have a large amount of it or a small amount of it. But you can cultivate more of it within yourself just by applying the power of the mind, right? Like we've been talking about. So, self-discipline portrays, it affects different areas of life. For example, eating right, like your diet, trying to stay healthy, going to the gym, working out, making sure you're exercising every single day, stretching, right, to make sure you're, nice and flexible, right? You don't want to get old and you can't even like bend over to pick something up. You want to be stretching every single day. You want to be exercising every single day. You want to be eating right. You want to be taking good care of your body. You want to be focused on whether you're, working on your business or you're working on your investments or whether you're, whichever way you're providing value to society, continuing to do that on a day-to-day basis, right? Self-discipline. And something that a lot of people don't realize is that whatever you can fathom within your mind that you can achieve, like if you can imagine yourself achieving it, if you have a certain degree of self-discipline, you can achieve basically anything, right? So if somebody wants to become a lawyer, right? Okay, cool. You need to have the self-discipline to put your mind to it, right? Go to, study, do all your stuff, pass all the tests and all that stuff, and then get to the point where you're actually a good lawyer. You can memorize all the laws, you can remember all the things, you're good in court, you know how to talk to people, you've studied some parts of psychology, so you know how people respond to certain things, or when people are lying, or when people are trying to, persuade you into thinking a certain way, etc., etc. That's just one, avenue, one way that you can utilize self-discipline to achieve something in life, whether that be a certain relationship, right? So, for example, let's say you're, a guy, right, and you're in mid-20s or 30s or even younger, and you want to, you want a certain caliber of women, right? You want a certain, certain girlfriend of a certain caliber, right? Understand that for you to get that level of like a relationship or whatever, if you value her, you need to be of that same value, if that makes sense. Like if you want a girl that's like this, like you got a whole list of parameters that you want for a girl, you can't be you can't be a slouch. You can't be, how do I put it? You need to bring yourself up to that caliber as well. You need self-discipline for you to achieve that. If you want a girl that looks a certain way or that has a certain body or that achieves certain things in life, that's smart, et cetera, you need to match that. You can't like aspire to have something that's like way above where you're at as a person, right? So you want to try and level yourself up. No, you need to level yourself up, and you do that through self-discipline, right? And you level yourself up in aspects like business, right? You need to have some sort of income. You need to build multiple streams of income. You need to invest that money. The self-discipline to stop going out on the weekends and stop spending money that you don't need to be spending. Stop drinking. Stop doing drugs, stop, doing all the things that aren't moving yourself forward in life, that aren't leveling yourself up. That's discipline. You need to have the discipline to do all those things. Now, you can make it a lot smoother. You can make the whole process a lot easier by utilizing the power of the mind. You see what I mean? So if you're trying to force yourself, you're going to be in a state where every single day you feel like you are having to force this discipline onto yourself. Like you're forcing yourself to get up early. You're forcing yourself to go to the gym. You're forcing yourself to eat right. You see what I mean? It's a lot of. There's no flow. There's a lot of force. Okay, but if you utilize the power of the mind, if you visualize yourself being that version that you want to be, if you use affirmations, if you focus on your vibrational state, you utilize all the tools to cultivate that reality that you desire. Right? You use the power of the mind, the process is going to be a lot easier, a lot smoother. It's going to be a lot more like flow. You're going to be doing the same things, but the difference is going to be the way you feel and your perspective towards them. You're going to feel like you are doing exactly what it is that you want to do. You're not going to feel like you're forcing yourself to diet a certain way or eat right. You're going to feel like you are choosing to do that because that is what you truly want to do, because you want to achieve a certain body, and with that body you can, have the women of the caliber that you choose to have, or whether it's just for yourself or whatever for men, whatever the hell you want it for. That's how you definitely want to be focused when it comes to your self-discipline, right? And also utilizing the power of the mind to make the process a lot smoother. That way you are not consistently feeling like you have to force your life to be a certain way. You're forcing your discipline onto yourself. If you're in a state right now where you feel like you need to force yourself to diet a certain way, or you need to force yourself to work on your business, or save money, to invest money, etc., etc. If you feel any kind of force on those things, start to visualize the reality that you're creating. Start to visualize yourself as the person that you're trying to become. Does that person spend money, spend $200-300 a weekend on drinks and going out? No. That person is at a certain financial level. And to get to that financial level, that version of yourself, that person does not spend, mindlessly spend money on the weekends or even during the week, whatever it may be. You just don't mindlessly spend money, because you know that version of that self, of yourself, does not do those things. So you visualize that version of yourself now in the present moment. You basically want to try and become that person in the present moment as much as you can. And then the rest of the day-to-day activities will kind of fall into place naturally. Doesn't happen overnight, right? You do this, you apply this weeks on weeks, months and months on end, and before you know it, it'll click. You'll realize that all of a sudden you are naturally doing the things that you knew you needed to do to become the version of yourself that you wanted to become. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So again, if you force yourself, you're going to feel like you're forcing yourself to diet, you're forcing yourself to save money, you're forcing yourself to not go out on the weekends. Let me give you a perfect example, right? So, let's say 2 months ago, I was going out every weekend, right? Just so happens, I was getting invited to events, and I was just going out every single weekend, right? And I felt that it was eating away at my progress in life, right? So I didn't let it affect me, nor did I force it to work out a certain way. So I stayed in my vibrational state. I didn't let it affect me. I just observed that in my external reality, no big deal, awesome. Before I knew it, certain things lined up for me to just not have that many events and have that many social events, things to go to on the weekends. So I've had some more free weekends recently, right? Time where I can work on myself and work on my crafts, work on what I need to work on. And also that I'm observing that it's not eating away at my progress in life. If anything, I've opened certain doors for more progress in life to be made, right? That's because I've manifested it that way. I visualized myself the way I would be, years ago. And now things shift, things just work out a certain way in reality for me to become that person. See how it's so subtle, but it's so simple. It's so right in your face. One version is me forcing it. So all of a sudden, when all my friends are asking me to hang out or whatever on the weekends, I'm like no, I'm like no, or I'm lying. Oh, I got to do this or I got to do that, or I'm constantly telling them no. Right? I'm forcing a certain reality. I'm forcing myself, right, to stay at home and work on myself or whatever. And then the other version, the other flip side of that coin is I'm consistently just in a state where certain events and certain things just don't flow my way. There's just less parties, there's less things to go to, less social events, so simply I'm going out less. I didn't have to force that. Reality kind of, just manifested that way, all right? So power of self-discipline is very vital and very beautiful in life. And if you combine it with the power of the mind, you can achieve great things in a very flow-like state. It can all kind of simply attract your way. All right, so thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want one-on-one mentorship with me, you can sign up through the Patreon link in the description below. Please drop a like on the video, comment down below, subscribe with your post notifications turned on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.